It's Ford's current and only body-on-frame SUV, with the Max variant being a replacement for the short-lived behemoth Excursion. And since 2009, it's been manufactured alongside the F-150s and F-250s and 350s and 450s, etc. at Ford's massive Kentucky truck plant. And currently, it's in its 4th generation. On this episode of Before You Buy the Ford Expedition, I'm going to go over the Generation 4 Expedition from 2018 to here in 2024 and all of the year-over-year changes. This is going to be a broad overview of the Generation 4, year-over-year changes and its trims. It is not going to be about the packages available for each individual trim. That being said, I believe the limited trim has the most packages available, and there's even some packages that are no longer available, like the Texas edition. Now, why you'd want to drive around your truck with a giant Texas emblem on the back of it, let me know in the comments. Is that something you would do? Throughout this overview then, I'm also going to show some exterior or interior visual cues that may be beneficial to you, because here in 2024, a lot of people do their automotive shopping online. And one thing I had noticed when shopping for my Expedition online was the pictures were trash and the description was trash. And it really made it hard to know if the Expedition I was looking at had the features that I wanted. Some of the listings only had 4 pictures and they were all outside, or they were all the exterior pictures. And it's like, well, how the hell does that help me? So my overview will give you some visual cues to point out in those pictures if an Expedition has an option or not. Take my Expedition right here. From the front of this Expedition, you can see 4 things, but I'm only going to go over 1. 2 of those would be, if you know Ford's grille, you know that this is a Platinum Expedition, and if you know the front end, you will know this is pre-2022. But most importantly is right down here, the tow hooks. The tow hooks tell you that there's 2 options packaged for this Expedition. 1, it's 4x4, and 2, it has tow package. Just from those tow hooks. Because you can have 4x4 and no tow package, no tow hooks, and you can have tow package, but no 4x4 and no tow hook. So once I learned that, I only looked for the front end of the vehicle. If it had tow hooks, it told me everything else I wanted to know. And lastly, I'm covering to 2024. And that's because 2025 is around the corner, and 2025 may be Generation 5 for the Expedition. Before I jump into the year-over-year changes, I'm going to do a broad overview of this generation. By starting with, it comes in 2 variants. You have a standard, like I have here, and then it also comes in a Max. The standard is for all trims. The Max, there's a few trims it's not available on. But Max is about a foot longer, so it'd be about right where I'm standing. And that entire length is only for cargo. So the second and the third row, they're not stretched out to give more room. Only the ass end is stretched out to give more cargo room. That being said, with Max, the hatch is pushed further back, which may give the third row more headroom. And Max Expeditions also have a 28-gallon gas tank compared to the 24-gallon that my Expedition has here. On the towing, all Expeditions come equipped to tow. The default tow rating is 6,000 pounds. Rather it's Max or not, or 4x4 or 4x2. It is 6,000 pounds to tow. If you want to tow more, and the max tow capacity is 9,300 pounds, then you need to add tow package. And that 9,300 pounds is only on a standard Expedition that is a 4x2. When you go to a standard Expedition like mine and it's a 4x4, it drops to 9,200 pounds. Once you get into the max variant, whether or not it's 4x4, it's 9,000 pounds of towing capacity. Little interesting note though. Tow package adds a larger radiator, although the amount of coolant is 4.1 gallons compared to the standard radiator with 4.2 gallons of coolant. Larger radiator should be more volume of coolant. I don't know. Whatever, Ford. And also note, whether or not you have tow package, the brakes are all the same size. So you don't get a bigger brake and bigger calipers with heavy duty tow package. All trims have the same engine and the same transmission. Well, the numbers that you see, 375, 400, 440, merely could be an ECU tune. And that's it. That being said, there are two trims that I will discuss later that have an high output or HO EcoBoost. And that EcoBoost may slightly be a different engine itself than the standard Expedition or the standard EcoBoost engine. But research online has been kind of inconclusive on if it's the same engine or not. Another thing to notice is the higher end trims, like my Platinum here, will have the badging on the door. So the XLT and the Limited will have no badging right here. Now, I'm also aware that there are people out there that like to debadge their vehicles, which can make sense because detailing around those stupid letters or numbers can be kind of a pain in the ass to do. Also noting, is this a scratch? It sure is, son of a bitch. Moving into colors, blue is blue, red is red, green is green. Year over year, they might change the name of a color, they might change the hue, they might change the tone, but again, blue is blue, red is red, green is green, if it matters. So you're gonna have paint colors that change year over year. On the interior front, if you have the Fox wood, like I have on my Platinum, you will have a lid that can go over the cup holders. But if you don't have that Fox wood, then you don't have a lid. You have a pen holder instead. I don't know why Ford just didn't give you a lid regardless of the interior trim. Okay, Ford. 2018 Generation 4, right here it is, big and bold. And you may be wondering then, what was the changes of a 2018? Well, quite a lot. The Generation 4 2018 Expedition was Ford's first complete redesign of this platform in 15 years, going all the way back to Generation 2 when they brought out the IRS independent rear suspension platform. The standard Expedition grows in 2018 by 4 inches in length. 3 of those inches is in the wheelbase, and it also grows an inch in width, which makes a standard Expedition bigger than a standard Generation 3 Expedition. On the larger size, the Expedition EL is now referenced as Expedition Max, and the Expedition Max is the same overall dimensions as the Expedition EL from Generation 3. You have this new exterior styling, this new updated front end. Some may say that this front end, the Expedition lost some of its truck-like character. It's a matter of opinion. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Along with this new exterior styling, the Expedition sheds 600 pounds worth of weight by moving to an all-aluminum body. The interior also got updated with new styling and stuff like wireless charging. And it also has a hotspot connectivity with AT&T. I don't know why you would want to use a hotspot through an AT&T or something like that when you could just use your phone to do it. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you would do. I do use the wireless charging. It works with my Samsung, but does not work with my mother's iPhone Pro 14. Something like that, I think it was. It didn't want to work. There's actually a TSB on it. My opinion, why I bought this 2018 over a 2017 is mainly the interior. I like the interior better on this 2018 than I did in a Gen 3 2017. Also new in 2018 is that wonderful Ford engineered and designed the 10R80 10-speed transmission makes its platform debut. And when it debuted, it got good reviews. Here in 2024, it's kind of up in the air. Let me know what you think down below. Personally, I don't have any issues with mine as of right now. I don't have any wood to hit. Damn it. The King Ranch trim was dropped in 2018, so now all of the trim is the entry level is the XLT, you have the mid-range limited, and you have the range topping platinum. There's also a new package for the limited trim called the FX4 package, which is more off-road oriented expedition, sporting 18-inch gray painted rims with some AT tires, and it's got some underbody shields, some skid plates over the front axle, the transfer case, and it says it has a skid plate over the fuel tank, but I believe that skid plate is plastic. Not sure what that's gonna do, but you know. This also brings out the next generation communication system that all the systems use to communicate to one another. And that would be the CAN 3 system makes a debut, which allows this to talk to, all the systems talk to each other in real time, much faster than it could on CAN 2. Also in 2018, the 4x4 system is redesigned because now it has terrain management to deal with. So in Generation 3, you had 4 high, 4 low, 4 auto, and 2 high. The knob was on the dash, and that was it. That was your 4x4. In 2018, that's not the case. The default 4x4 option is 4 auto, or 4A. And the terrain management takes care of everything else. And right here on the pin dial, right below that, you will see a knob that says drive mode that indicates you have 4-wheel drive. And you'll just have 4A and the button below 2 high, and that'll be it. If you want to have options to select 4 low, then you need tow package. That gives you access to 4 low and gives you access to the 373E LSD, the rear locking differential. I mentioned earlier, packages help, or visual cues that help. That's where tow package, the tow hooks come into play, as well as the trailer backup dial that's on the dash. You have tow package, then you have 4 low. If it matters, these rear wings, the windows, no longer pop out. If that matters. And that is pretty much all the options. What's new for 2018, so I really need to have you like repainted or something because there's little marks all over the place. That's what's new for 2018. Let's jump into 2019, shall we? The only thing that changed in 2019 was you can no longer rock out to this guy. So no more CD players, no more rocking out to, you know, Will Smith Big Wheelie style. Now we're in 2020. In 2020, quite a few things happened. 2 trims were introduced, and a few other various things, like the 4 auto button for 4-wheel drive. As you see in my 2018, it's right below 2 high, but then in 2020, it got moved to the top right. Why Ford decided to move it, I don't know, but they did. 2 trims were introduced. The King Ranch makes a return as a trim level, and they launched, or Ford launched, a base trim called an XL. So, for the King Ranch, let's jump to that. Making its return for 2020 is the King Ranch trim. Slotted below the Platinum and above the Limited, many would wonder, is this better than a Platinum? And in my opinion, the King Ranch and the Platinum are the same coin, just a different side of that coin. King Ranch has more unique exterior styling and interior styling. The exterior, King Ranch is the only trim that has a two-tone paint job. As you can see right here, here's the main color, a white, and right here's the lower part of the bumper, which is a stone gray. The mirror caps are also a stone gray. The running boards are a stone gray. And the rear part of the lower portion of the bumper is also a stone gray. King Ranch is the only trim that has its emblem as part of the center wheel cap. The XLT, the Limited, and the Platinum, like this Platinum right here, all have a Ford. King Ranch is also the only trim to have its emblem mounted high on the driver's side and the passenger side door. Unlike my Platinum, shown here, where the emblem is mounted lower on the door. Now, weirdly enough, 2020, 21, and 24, this emblem is mounted on the fender. 22 and 23, like this 23 sitting here, the emblem is mounted on the door. Okay, Ford. And one of the big draws for a King Ranch trim that sets it apart from the other trims is its interior. As you can see, King Ranch is the only one that had the emblem on the center armrest. Like my Platinum, the emblem is on both the driver's side and the passenger side seats, but that emblem is also on the second and the third row as well. And the biggest draw of this interior is it's a two-tone brown leather interior. It's like a Del Rio interior. And that is the look at a King Ranch trim. This is a 2023. This is max. As you can see, this rear end right here is much further back than a standard. It also says max right here on the tailgate, which I think some model years max was actually up here on the aperture of the liftgate. And then, as mentioned earlier, the emblem for King Ranch is also mounted higher on the tailgate, as my Platinum is down here. Personally, I kind of dig the King Ranch. I like that the emblem is part of the center cap for the rim, rather than just being a Ford emblem, but that's just my opinion. I also really like the interior. Moving on to the XL. The XL trim is a very unique trim in that it's a 5-person seater and it has no third row. And the XL trim is not available in max form, only standard form. In researching to XLs to film for this project, I couldn't find any. Within like 500 miles of me, I couldn't find any XLs. But I did drive by a Ford dealership and I saw these very unique XLs. Let's hop to those. And then I drove by this Ford dealership and I saw these two Expeditions. These are both XL Expeditions. But these Expeditions are very special in that if you're looking at that rear tire, do you see how long that bumper is? And do you see how long that bumper is? These Expeditions are XL trim in max form, which makes these Expeditions very special. And I have a sneaky suspicion that these Expeditions are not a retail Expedition, but they are in fact a fleet version of the XL trim Expedition. And there's a few ways to verify that. One, externally, they would both have 17-inch steel wheels. These clearly have aftermarket wheels. But two, on the inside, the steering wheel will have a column-mounted gear selector. So let's go have a gander. And as you can see, right there through the steering wheel, you will see the column-mounted gear selector. You will also see that this center console is not Ford's standard center console. It is actually a seat, which makes this, I wonder if that makes this a 6-person Expedition. So that is my suspicion that this Expedition is a fleet version. Now let's go check the Maroni sticker. You can also see it has the standard platform running boards. These tires are aftermarket. And looking at our Moroni sticker, Expedition Max XL. An interesting note about this XL Max Expedition is it actually does not say Max on the rear tailgate. As for this green one, well, we got a Rhino roof rack, full-size spare, gold rims, painted calipers, interesting. But on this Expedition, as you can see, it is an Expedition Max XL 5-person seater. And as you can see, a column mounted gear selector, which means this Expedition and its little friend over here are fleet versions of the XL trim. Does it say on its Moroni sticker if it's a fleet version or not? No, it does not say anything about a fleet version. It will tell you third row delete though. Second row, it's got, looking at the end of my finger, you will see Equipment Group 102A. And looking right here, now this is referencing 2022 Expeditions, but I'm sure this is still relevant to later models like this 2023 that we just looked at. You will see here Equipment Groups 100A, 101A, and 102A are for the fleet vehicles, which according to that Moroni sticker, that 102A, that's a big indication that that vehicle is a fleet version of the XL trim. And if you want to retail Expedition XL, its equipment group is 104A. Another way to tell is looking at the VIN of the Expedition you're looking at. And right here, it tells you K1G is a max 4x4, K1F is a max 4x2, and U1G and U1F, etc. Looking at those two Expeditions, here's the green one, and right here is the K1G option code. So that is a fleet max 4x4 that this dealership wants $85,000 for. Are you out of your mind? The silver Expedition right here is also a K1G option code, which means it's an XL Max 4x4. I found this Expedition on the lot. I thought it was another XL, as it has the standard XL 18-inch machine painted aluminum rims, and it has the standard running board. And when I went to look in the window, it has Ford's retail, or it has Ford's console. And I thought, well, maybe this is a retail XL. But it says Max. So I went and looked over here at the Moroni sticker. Expedition Max XL. Third row seat delete. Huh. So maybe you can order? Maybe it's a Fleet XL with an upgraded center console, which I think is an option. Those were two, and those XLs were all Fleet. Now, personally, I don't know if I would like having the column shifter instead of the console in the middle. Let me know what you guys think down below. Starting off 2021, if it matters to anybody, but you no longer have this engine dressing cover that says EcoBoost on the side. Instead, all you have is the engine undressed like that, if it matters. 4 low is now selectable without having tow package, but you still can't select 4 high for some reason. That lid, the lid that goes over the cup holders, you can now get without the fake wood trim, but only if it's a limited trim or higher. If it's XLT, you don't get a lid over the cup holders. Why, Ford? Why? And if it matters or not, the rear differential, the ratios dropped from 3 to 2, so the only two options that you have available are a 331 or a 373. And that's it for 2021, other than probably a few color changes. Now we're in 2022, and 2022 was the mid-cycle refresh where we got an updated front end, and the rear end also got updated in that the bumper got two like reflectors on each side of the bumper, just indented a little bit. It's kind of like it. I don't know why. But that's the exterior styling. 2022 Sync 4 is available. In the interior wise, you have an upgrade from the 8-inch screen, so now it's a 12-inch screen standard. And then an upgrade from the 12-inch screen is the 15-inch tablet style screen that you will find in stuff like the Lightning or the Mach-E. When you go to that screen, you also get an all digital instrument cluster, and then the steering wheel also changes as well, as the black boxes where the cruise control and the phone controls sit, now they get merged up into the regular directional buttons, and those directional buttons go away, so now you have like just individual buttons on a steering wheel. It looks kind of like a neater look. There's a new trim in 2022 called the Timberline, which replaces the FX4 trim. And for more on the Timberline, let's jump to that. 2022 brought the Timberline trim. This is based on the limited trim. It's actually above the limited and below the King Ranch. And Timberline has a few exterior features that other trims don't have. Starting with, Timberline is only available in standard form, no max. As you can see, the top half of the vehicle is all blacked out. Timberline trim badging emblem is right here on the hatch, mounted really high. Shout out to Fairview Ford here in Canton, Ohio. Down the side, Timberline only comes in a 32-inch tire, 18-inch rim. That's it. As you can see, these are AT tires. You got an orange accent center cap for the rim. You've got orange accents right here on the rear bumper. You do have non-deployable running boards. And you have more orange accents under the door. I'm not sure if you're gonna see on the interior, but you'll have orange accents on the interior right here by the dash, orange stitching, and the seats themselves will have orange stitching. Timberline only comes in 4x4, only option. Another Timberline badge mounted really high. Round to the front. You do have Expedition written across the hood. The only other trims that have that is the Stealth package and the Limited Stealth Performance package. Timberline also has its another orange accent right here on the front hood, and its tow hooks are also orange and not chrome. And Timberline also has its logo right here molded into the front bumper. There's a big old F-250 beside me. Kind of like the blacked out belt trim. And the one other feature that the Timberline has that the other trims don't is it, like the Performance Package Stealth, it has dual exhaust. Although this is a dual exhaust muffler, the system itself is actually a single exhaust. Now, that Timberline was a very unique Timberline. I didn't notice it when I filmed it. But that Timberline has a blacked out canopy, and that's not a Timberline thing. And that Timberline also had orange accents on the wheel caps. That's not standard either, nor is the orange accent stripe on the running board. Nor is the Timberline emblem on the front fender. It's actually on the D-pillar in the back. I didn't notice that until I started putting this together. I'm like, wait a minute, that Timberline was definitely different. And the Timberline also has what I mentioned earlier in the video, the HO EcoBoost, the high output EcoBoost, pushing 440 horsepower. There is one other package that has that high output EcoBoost, and that is the Limited Stealth Performance Package at a whopping 10 grand for that package. It's package 304A, by the way. For more on that, let's jump to the Limited Stealth Performance Expedition. To demonstrate the Stealth Performance Package from 2022, this is a 2024 Stealth Performance, and the Stealth Package on the limited trim blacks out everything. The Expedition's on the hood, so that tells you it's a Stealth Package. No other trim has that except for Timberline, and all the chrome accents is blacked out. But the first visual cue that it's a performance version is behind that big black 22-inch rim is a red caliper. That's visual number one. Working our way to the back, the Stealth, as you can see, the Stealth has Expedition blacked out and the Limited is blacked out. But this performance package also has dual exhaust. The only other trim that have dual exhaust is Timberline. All the other trims have single exhaust. And that is a Limited Stealth Performance SUV. Oh, also you have blacked out roof rails. How much is this Expedition limited trim package? Well, there's your Stealth Performance package at a whopping 10 grand, making this Expedition a whopping $90,000. Brand new. Also in 2022, 4x4 reworkings, again, because Ford just can't leave stuff alone. In 2022, you can select 4 high, but not 4 low, without having the tow package optioned. The 4A button moved back to where it was like in 2018, where mine's at. And if you have tow package, 4 low and 4 high are both selectable. And then the diff lock button moved up underneath the PRND dial. And that's it for the 2022 refresh. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned it, but 2022 was also the first year that Blue Cruise was made available for the Expedition. Bringing us here to 2024. And since 2022, not a lot has actually changed from 2022 till now. Like, not a lot at all. I think there's a new color called Wild Green. Was it made available in 23? Maybe here in 24, I don't remember. Minor changes, the USB ports, like I have 2 USB-A ports where the wireless charging pad is, and there's 2 USB-A ports in the center console for the second row. At some point, I don't know if it's 2022 or 23 or here in 24, but they changed to USB-C. I'm not sure when the crossover change was. Blue Cruise was made available in 22. It's still available. You get a 90-day trial when you purchase a Platinum. Blue Cruise is only available on Platinum trim that I'm aware of. Maybe they put it on the King Ranch. I don't know. Don't quote me. Let me know if you have a King Ranch or a Timberline that's got Blue Cruise. And if you use the navigation, the connected navigation changes from a 3-year down to a 1-year subscription. I don't know who would use connected nav, but let me know if you guys. So as we close 2024, there's been some light rumors that Ford's designing a new Expedition for 2025. I'm not sure if I like the front end of the new Expedition. I kind of like this front end better. I don't know. It might grow on me, it might not. But as of right now, of this filming, there's been no announcement from Ford what the 2025 Expedition is going to be. Whether it's going to be a cycle refresh or if it's going to be a complete new generation. Until then, we have Generation 4 to service with what we need. And I want to know your guys' thoughts. Write down in the comments. What is your favorite option or trim of the Expedition from Generation 4? Wait. Oh. If you want to see more Expedition content, click here. If you want to see more content posted this year, click here. And to subscribe, click the button down below. Oh, hi. Oh, ow. That's going to leave a mark. Ow, wait a minute. Ow. Oh.